the high banks of Daytona. Home to the sweetest memories in racing for some, unexplored dreams of grandeur for the others. Today, 11 stock cars race for 50 laps around the high banks. Cale and Donnie are super familiar with each other after 1979, Cale with 4 500 crowns while Donnie still searches for his first. Kevin Harvick won here in a nail-biter back in 2007 and plans on using more of that magic today. Joe Gibbs' 2 entries also both searching for their elusive Daytona 500 crown. Ricky Craven finished 3rd and was a part of the infamous Hendrick 1-2-3 finish back here in 97, as well as Kyle Petty trying to live up to the lofty standards his name has here at Daytona. 8 wins for the Petty family in the 500, but none for 3rd-generation driver Kyle yet. And speaking of highly successful families, the Earnhardts have a combined 3 500 wins, and both hope to return to that former success today. And finally, the 3-time Daytona 500 champion sharing his number with a driver making his first 500 start. Without any further delay, let's get to the start with pole sitter Dale Earnhardt Jr.
We are green here at Daytona International Speedway. Dale Jr. is going to lead the field of 11. Bobby Labonte right there in 2nd place. Meanwhile, further back, Kevin Harvick already starting to create a high lane. Not able to do it here, though. Now Brady Fletch right now in 4th place, right there with Tony Stewart and his Joe Gibbs teammate Bobby Labonte. That inside line right now already being created by the Pied Piper at Daytona. Harvick now starting to close back in. Kyle Petty right there in 6th. Dale Sr. in 7th right there. And here they come. The rest of the pack is here. Junior still leads now. Fletch in 2nd, Labonte 3rd. Harvick now trying to go down the inside of the 24F. Gordon right there in 4th now ahead of Labonte. Tony Stewart falling back to 6th right now. He's now settled on the high lane. Judbuck still leads this thing. Fletch on the outside. He's going to cover him off here. And Harvick down on the inside of the 8 car. 3 wide already in the midfield. Boy, oh boy here. Look at this. Kyle Petty down on the inside, 3 wide on the apron. He's not gotten all 4 wheels down below the double yellow line, so he is clear to do that. He's now taking the lead from Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. Side by side out of 2. Still side by side. It looks like that's Davey Allison right now in the 1 car trying to make something work on the inside. He's got Ricky Craven on his inside. About 4 wide almost there. And nothing doing for that 1 car. Look at Labonte about getting shoved down the line by the 24F. Boy, oh boy, that could have been bad. Through turn 3 once again. That 24 DuPont car has speed, but right now he's just on his own right now. And he's trying to get the lead from the outside. He does, and he finally clears him. Lap 3. So we've completed 2 laps already, and everyone else right now it's kind of just there. No one's really trying to do something that'll wreck the field, but at the same time, not really anything going on where anyone can catch that 24F. Out of turn 3. Turn 2, my mistake there. Down the back straightaway. The outside lane really starting to move with Petty and Earnhardt. Labonte and Stewart are having a bit of a disagreement there. They're side by side behind the 42. And Labonte's now dropping back to Jeff Gordon, Dale Sr. and the rest. Harvick, meanwhile, has dropped down to 11th. And Fletch has I thought he had given up the inside, not yet, but Petty and Stewart are both right there. Junior falls back to 4th. Jeff Gordon now moves up into 4th place on the inside lane. 3 wide in the back here between Allison, Harvick, and Yarbrough for a brief second. Nothing doing there. Harvick really sideways going into turn 1. While everyone else right now just trying to figure it out. Petty still holds on to 2nd place. Interestingly, he's lost his ducktail. His ducktail is missing off the deck lid. And that is not something you can put back on the car. Same goes for, I think Yarbrough has his spoiler, so Petty's the only one without the spoiler here today. But he looks to be doing fine without it regardless. He's now down on the inside of the 24F, making contact out of the 4. Nothing doing there. That DuPont Chevrolet still out there. up on top, out in front, but there's Jeff Gordon now on the outside of Petty, gets in line with Fletch. Lap 5. 3 wide of the midfield once again. Harvick making up places once more. And it looks like it's starting to single file out for the time being. Jeff Gordon's retaking the lead of this race. He's almost put Fletch in the wall there, going out of turn 2. Fletch gets a good run. Labonte down on the inside now. Still nothing doing. Fletch holds on. Meanwhile, the 8 of Dale Jr. on the now making it 3 wide. Harvick dropping back. Dale Sr. now up into 5th place. Gordon back up in front on the inside. And he's got the 24F cleared. So now, Fletch will have to try making the outside line work once again. Rim riding this whole race, may I add here. But he's not able to get anything on Jeff Gordon. Now Junior down on the inside, 3 wide for second place. Labonte makes it work. But right now, just doesn't seem like anything's able to come up together. The 224s get together here. Going into turn 3. So far, no incidents. Dale Sr. 3 wide with Yarborough and Stewart in the back. And that's going to break up that pack. Meanwhile, further back, Davey Ellis has kind of just been chilling in the back right now. Same with Kevin Harvick. He's not, despite starting up front, Harvick's not really been able to do anything. Meanwhile, ahead of them, they are condensing into a pack. Harvick and Yarborough get together, but the 224s have really broken away here. Through turns 1 and 2 once again. Yarborough's gone ahead of Stewart and Petty, but no one's really able to generate anything to get closer to those 224s. Gordon still leads as he's going into turn 3. 3 wide now as the 2 Budweiser cars are hooking up on the outside lane. Craven, he could have made himself into that inside lane, but he decided to stick with Dale Jr. here. And Labonte's going to break up with Petty, so now Labonte leads that pack, and he's going to cut in front of Kyle Petty, and that's going to slow the 42 Bella Yellow Pontiac up. Meanwhile, Labonte cuts in front of Craven. Craven looking to the inside. He's not going to be able to make anything of it. Dale Jr. now in 5th place. And I've seen Fletch has now dropped back from Jeff Gordon. I'm not sure if he's nursing a problem here. But regardless, he's now backing up. So now he is going to be part of this group. Labonte leads this group of cars with Dale Jr. in second in line. Meanwhile, Harvick's now moved back up to 5th place, now 4th ahead of Dale Jr. He's going to get on the bumper of Jr. And that is Fletch rim riding once again out of turn 4. He's right on that wall. He's the only car really able to do that here, as we're almost a 5th of the way through this race. Junior now looking to the inside of Labonte, not going to be able to make anything of it. Craven and Allison side by side for 5th. As now Fletch is going to try, I think he's going to try getting the pack back up towards Jeff Gordon. Not quite happening though right now, as the gap's still kind of being maintained by the 224s. The 18 down on the inside with Junior still. It's been a pretty somewhat quiet running for these two. Junior and Labonte both have not had very many issues here. But it looks like Kyle Petty's starting to drop back. Junior might have been looking on the inside, not able to make anything of it. Labonte down the inside of Fletch, though. That could be something if he could get the good exit speed. But does not look like he's able to. That 24F getting a better run out of turn 4. But he's still side by side with him, so I imagine Fletch is now going to start losing positions. Meanwhile, Junior now alongside him. Labonte's just about got him cleared until out of the exit of the tri-oval. He got a much better run, and that's the 25 Hendrick Motorsports car of Ricky Craven. He's now going to make it 3 wide. He's got Davey Allison behind him and Kevin Harvick behind him. Labonte and Junior check up. That's going to really slow down the inside lane. Senior follows Harvick. Stewart now down on the inside of Junior, and that's really created a little bit of shuffling here in the pack. Fletch still leads this pack, but now Craven down on the inside of the 24F. Look at him go. Now Harvick's making it 3 wide in the middle lane with Allison. Not quite able to make anything of it here. Oh, Allison and Fletch make contact. 24F's in the wall. He's still in the wall. It doesn't look like it's doing anything, but boy, that's going to be a big old scuff on the side of that DuPont Chevrolet. Oh, and Allison barely cleared him there, going out of the tri-oval. Boy, that's not going to help anyone here. Side by side, Alice is now getting a good push from Fletch. Stewart's now with them. The 24F down to the inside on the apron. The 20 still hooks up with a 1, and that leaves the 24F left to dry. Boy, oh boy. So, getting reports now, 24F is actually having issues with a tight race car. That's what the issue was earlier, and I believe he's still dealing with that. He says he's going to keep pushing it, but that's not going to help anyone. Meanwhile, but as I was getting onto that report, Jeff Gordon has been caught up by the field, but he's now starting to separate once again with the rest of the field here, as they are now 3 wide behind him. Boy, oh boy, 24F back in the wall. That's going to slow up that top lane. That's going to allow Dale Sr. in, Dale Jr. in as well. Jr. lets up a little bit off his father in the RCR car. But so far, aside from a couple wall scrapes, this has been a pretty drama-free race. Senior, the 1998 Daytona 500 winner, gets shoved out of lane by the 24F, and he about doored him there. Stewart blocks him off. 3 wide now for 4th. Junior and Senior, and that is the 24F now being sent all the way back. He's down to 10th now behind Yarborough. Harvick's now going to get by him. He's in the wall once again. So that Hendrick Chevrolet really having issues with it, with his handling. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon's been caught up by his Hendrick teammate, Ricky Craven. And now we got ourselves a race. Because now that 25 right now, kind of just holding that middle lane as Jeff Gordon still holds on to that lead. That 24F really just holding on to that top lane, arguably not doing him any favors here. But right now, it looks like it's starting to mellow out up front. Junior, I say that, Junior is now starting to go make it 3 wide. Craven puts Petty into the wall almost. Petty stays up in front. He's going to try looking at Jeff Gordon, not able to make anything of it. Tony Stewart drifts a little bit wide, nearly collects Ricky Craven. And that could have been really hairy for those guys in the midfield. Thankfully, cooler heads have prevailed, and no one wrecks. But now Ricky Craven's momentum's been spoiled. Yarborough goes with Senior. Tony Stewart now gets passed by Brady Fletch in the 24F. Harvick now down to the inside in 9th. Tony Erie on the pit. We're getting hearing from Tony Erie on the pit box of the 8. The 8 has top end, but not too worried about where they're at right now. They're only on lap 14. Right now, it's just kind of just making sure the car stays to the end. So meanwhile, the 2 Earnhardts are connected on the middle lane. Davey Allison in second. Jeff Gordon still leads this thing. He's had a really dominant race so far, as the sun is starting to send here at Daytona International Speedway. The 25 down on the inside of the 3. Yarborough's Oldsmobile kind of just settling up here. He's actually going to look down the inside of his old rival Davey Allison here, not able to make anything of it. So they're going to hug the apron. Petty trying to make something happen on the outside, but it appears as though the inside lane going through the turns is probably the best place you want to be. And yeah, I say that as now Craven and Petty start making something happening. Here comes Petty down the inside of Jeff Gordon. Can he make it stick this time? He's got on his quarter panel. And he's going to lift once again, but that's allowed Ricky Craven back into second place. And from first to fifth, it's single filed out now. Junior in sixth. He's trying to get his father back up there, but the 11 right now of Cale Yarbrough making that inside line work. Look at Fletch right there. He went down the double yellow line. Didn't pass anyone, but he's now passed Bobby Labonte cleanly. Now Dale Sr., and he's going to try pushing Tony Stewart closer to the front. So now the DEI car of Junior and the Childress Racing car of Senior kind of just hanging back right now with Bobby Labonte. Meanwhile, Craven's still right there with Jeff Gordon. He's not able to make anything of it here. Kyle Petty, once again, looking down to the inside, but he's going to get swamped here. The 1 on his outside. The 11 tried looking on his inside. The 29 right there. Door bashes Kyle Petty. The 24F now on the outside. Able to make some more positions. He's been on the move this whole race, or on this lap, but he's not able to make anything on corner exit. So he'll stay slotted behind Harvick and Yarbrough for now. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart side by side with Petty. Petty clears both him and Davey Allison. And Craven's kind of just chilling there with Jeff Gordon being the tail gunner between those two HMS cars. So we're on lap 17. It's been a pretty interesting race so far in the first duel. Oh, Tony Stewart door bashes a bit with Davey Allison. Kevin Harvick on the outside of Stewart. He's got the tow from Kyle Petty. He's going to clear that number 20 Pontiac. Meanwhile, Junior on the inside of Stewart with Fletch. Unable to make anything happen. I say that. Junior's getting around Stewart. And now Fletch is down on the inside making this work. Look at that. The 8 and 24F really pushing out of the turn 4 here. Now Junior's going to go down the inside of Kyle Petty. 24F right there on his bumper, but he's not able to make any more positions. Craven blocks Junior. Junior goes to the high side. And now the 24F's kind of SOL here. Down into turn 1 because he lost a bit of his toe. He's got it back now with Hendrick teammate Ricky Craven. But this could get very ugly here if this does not work right. On the back straightaway here, the 24F pushes to 25, unable to make anything of it. Here comes Dale Jr. on the inside of the 24. Let's see if he's able to make anything stick. Not this time. Craven now down on the inside of the 8. Almost collects each other there. A bit of door rubbing between Craven and Stewart. Thankfully, once again, no crashing. But the story of the day right now has been Jeff Gordon leading this race in dominant fashion for quite some time here. The two Budweiser cars now side by side through the tri-oval. Junior has the tow from Gordon. Now Craven does. Stewart down making it 3 wide with Davey Allison and Kyle Petty. Allison down on the apron, making contact with that Oldsmobile and Kyle Petty's Pontiac. But looks pretty fine right now. As they go down the back straightaway, that 20 car trying to do something, gets around Davey Allison. 24F pushing Bobby Labonte in 9th. Look at that, Craven's down on the inside of Jeff Gordon. We might actually have a new leader of this race. But once again, Gordon able to push past the 25 on his own. So now Petty is now in second place. Craven's falling back. Dale Sr. now up to 3rd. Lap 20 now. So we're almost 2/5 of the way through this race. And Gordon still leads. They're 3 wide behind. Well, they were for a brief second there. Labonte on the outside of Petty. Junior on the outside of Craven. So Senior looks like he's trying to rally the outside lane, trying to make something happen with Gordon, his old old rival there in the 90s. Meanwhile, Senior now actually is looking down the inside, but he's got no help. Everyone's up on the outside, so Bobby Labonte's going to try something here. Maybe not. He's just going to stay in line. Gordon, meanwhile, picks up Senior. 24F once again trying to use the wall. It's not really working in his favor here. Kyle Petty now looks to the inside of Senior. And boy, it's kind of just mellowed out here as the sun's starting to set. 30 to go in the first duel. Fletch in the wall thanks to Cale Yarbrough. As soon as I say it starts mellowing out. So the Budweiser cars side by side once again. Junior loses places to Craven and Harvick. Now Labonte's down on his inside. Look at Senior trying to make something happen. Kyle Petty also tried making something happen. Craven all the way down to the inside. Petty blocks him. Senior might try something here. Not able to do it. He's going to put the block on his RCR teammate, Kevin Harvick. And now it's just kind of just waiting to see what happens. It's a bit of a check up there through turn 4. Nothing detrimental though. Look at that. That's Fletch down on the inside, making it 3 wide with Craven and Junior. 24F now. As discussed earlier, he's got speed, but he's dealing with a tight race car right now. He's taking it 3 wide with Petty and Harvick, but he's not. Once again, no help. That's going to really hinder his progress here. Down on the outside now, that's Fletch, right on the back of Jeff Gordon. This is the first time in about 10 laps or so he's caught up to the back bumper of the 24. Meanwhile, Craven makes it a Hendrick 1-2-3 so far with Senior on his inside. Senior gets a better run through turn 4. He's got Kyle Petty in tow. Senior's right there on the inside of Fletch. He makes it work. He's cleared the 24F. Now Petty wants inside the 3. The 3's going to give him the lane. And Petty now up to second place. But that Sabco Pontiac, he's got company from all over. The Childress number 29 and the Hendrick 24F. And also the 3 still on his outside there as he had help from Fletch. But unfortunately, Senior's not able to make anything of it. It's kind of just been follow the 24 car today in that Chroma Premier DuPont Chevrolet. He's been doing a good lot of leading this race. Fletch now up into second place. He's got a good bit of damage now from pushing other cars. His front end's all scraped up. Gordon trying to give the 24F some room, but in the process, 24F's once again going to rim ride, and now Kyle Petty gets ahead of the 24F. He's basically cleared of the 24F, gets in the wall now. And that's going to let Harvick in. That's going to let Junior in as well, as Dale Senior's falling back to 8th. The one car I'm really a bit perplexed as to what's going on is Cale Yarborough. He's really not been very far up. The highest he's gone is 5th today, and while he is starting to make some moves now, he's really not been able to make anything work in that Busch Chevrolet Oldsmobile. He's now starting to fall back as the field's bunched up once more. Craven into 4th, 5th, my mistake. Fletch is in 4th, but once again catching the wall there. Absolutely, that's slowing that DuPont Chevrolet down. Meanwhile, the 24F right now just hanging on to that, the 24, my mistake, just holding on to the lead here. Junior in 3rd, Craven is side by side with his teammate for 4th, and he's got him cleared. Harvick now has also basically got Fletch cleared. Senior right alongside him as he got into the wall. Got a report on Jeff Gordon. He's telling his crew chief Ray Abraham this isn't. Is not everything he's got this race, but no one's really trying to pass him. Everyone's kind of just been working to make sure everyone's alive rather than actually trying to catch up to the 24s. The 24F now alongside the 24. Bit of door rubbing, and I think we've got a new leader. It's Brady Fletch. But he's got no help on that outside. Kyle Petty now with Jeff Gordon. Up the middle. Petty's going to go with Fletch. Loses the inside spot to Junior. And now they're 3 wide behind Jeff Gordon once more. Boy, oh boy. Now Yarborough's moved up to 4th. Talking about a reverse commentator's curse there. He's moved up to 4th. Davey Allison back up to 5th. Look at Dale Earnhardt down on the inside line. Now he was going to make something happen. He's just going to stick it with his Childress teammate. Makes contact with Davey Allison. Allison nearly cut his nose off there. I don't know if you saw that. That could have been really bad. Thankfully, Once again, no wrecks, but that could have been a lot worse than what we just saw. Brady Fletch down to 11th now. I think that tight car is really getting to him here as we are halfway through this race. Gordon leads Yarborough and Harvick. Harvick carrying Dale Sr. on that inside lane. Nothing able to happen yet. Craven's moved back up to 5th. Tony Stewart's had a pretty quiet race, aside from a brief spell up front. He's kind of just been mired in the midfield today. And we know that's not where either of the Joe Gibbs Pontiacs want to be. 5th and 6th and 7th now. As Dale Jr. is now starting to make something happen. Kyle Petty's been shuffled back. Davey Allison's been shuffled back. Bobby Labonte now wants to work with Ricky Craven here. As Kevin Harvick holds off a 3-wide charge by Dale Sr. and Brady Fletch. Fletch once again, though, just hanging on to that high side. He's not going to be able to make anything of it. Contact with that Bass Pro Shops number 3. Boy, oh boy. This is, that's been a lot of beating and banging between those two today. Meanwhile, now Senior's gone up to 4th. Harvick's in 3rd on the inside of Cal Yarborough. He's trying to keep it going here. Well, is anyone going to get by Jeff Gordon here? We're on lap 28. Nothing anyone's really been able to do to get by this 28. Although, that being said, there hasn't really been a whole lot of trying to get by the 24. Bobby Labonte back up to 2nd place. He's made his way back up in the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Harvick in 3rd. Senior in 4th. Yarborough's down to 5th, fending off Tony Stewart and Ricky Craven. But I don't think he's going to be able to fend off both of them. Tony Stewart makes contact with Yarborough. And that is basically Stewart getting by the number 11 Oldsmobile. In the meantime, Labonte cuts off Dale Sr. Harvick in 2nd, but he's got no help in that middle lane. So Harvick's now going to be left dry. Although I think Senior might be letting him in. Yep, he is. So now the 29 has speed. The 20 has speed. Here comes the number 11 on the outside of the 3. Nothing able to stick there. A bit of a checkup on the outside lane. As side by side for 2nd place between Harvick and Labonte. Still no one able to catch Jeff Gordon. And Brady Fletch all the way back. He's about a 2nd off. I think he's lost the draft. He may have just lost the draft, that 24 car. I didn't pick that up, but he has lost the draft. Unless if by some stretch of the imagination, which, sure enough, he has caught back up as the mid-pack has bunched up a little bit. That slowed everyone down to allow the 24 back in. But up front, Harvick's right on the bumper of Jeff Gordon. He's kind of just chilling there. Labonte holds on to 4th of that pack. Dale Sr. in 3rd. He's right in line with his RCR teammate. Stewart in 5th. Yarborough in 6th with Fletch in 7th. Allison in 8th. Junior in 9th. He had a very topsy-turvy race today. Kyle Petty 10th. Ricky Craven 11th. So what we're seeing right now is Gordon still holding on ahead, but now the breakaway that the front 3 had is not there. They're all right there now. It's a big single file line from 7th on back. Junior now starting to join that single file lane, but Stewart and Yarborough are going to try something different. Harvick and Earnhardt are going to try something different. Earnhardt tried to go down the inside of Harvick, nothing able to do it. Instead, Labonte now on the outside of Harvick, in line with Jeff Gordon. And that's going to allow the 18 ahead of the 29. And also, that is the 1 up into 4th place. That's have I been calling him Davey Allison? I meant to say Donnie Allison. Boy, oh boy. Meanwhile, Fletch is on the outside of the 1, 3 wide with Tony Stewart. Junior down on the inside, in the middle, with Cale Yarborough on his inside. Oh, that was a big wall scrape by the 24F. That's another one. That's That's going to be problematic here late in this race. Eventually, those tires are going to have to give, I think. Gordon now, he's got himself a little bit of a breakaway from Harvick and Labonte. Harvick in line with Senior in that number 3 car. Look at them all go. Look at Brady Fletch down the inside of Donnie Allison. 4 wide going into turn 3. How's no one crashed yet? Unbelievable. The 24F using the door of about every other car. He used the door of the 1, he used up the door of the 11, and now he's going to use up the door of the 29. Because he's moved all the way up to 3rd place alongside Tony Stewart. Boy, oh boy. So this has now gone very interesting here with that 24F now in that front pack. Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough on the inside line trying to do something. Harvick moves back up to Jeff Gordon. Now the 24F has no help. And that's going to be problematic here, as now Donnie Allison on the inside of the 24F. Kyle Petty on the outside of Kevin Harvick. Stewart now around on the outside of Harvick. Fletch now trying to make something happen on the outside of him. But I don't think anything's going to work because no one's going on the very high lane. And the 24F, Yarborough just put the 24F in the wall. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, coming to lap 34 with, we've got, 17 laps left. Gordon still leads this duel. He's been up in front most of the day. No one is able to pass him. Meanwhile, Petty on the back bumper of that Chevy Monte Carlo. Allison in 3rd. The 2 Budweiser cars side by side behind him. I say that. Craven and Stewart now have a big run, going into 2nd and 3rd respectively. What a run that was. Unfortunately for them, still cannot get around Jeff Gordon, who, as we mentioned earlier, that's not everything he's got in that car. So that car is very fast. No one's able to really make anything work to get around him. Allison now into 3rd place. Probably wise to just try working with Harvick and or Petty. See if they can make something happen through a bump draft. Harvick gets around the 1 on the outside. And the 24F once again all the way back behind Dale Sr., who's been shuffled to 10th. Look at Kyle Petty trying to make something happen on the inside. Nothing happening, though. Harvick now on the outside of Petty. Checks up for Jeff Gordon. And that's going to allow Jeff to stay up in front. I would have figured Harvick would have tried to maintaining the speed he had, because he had one hell of a run. But instead now, it's side by side, 2nd on back. Kyle Petty breaks away with Tony Stewart behind him. Could this be the lap? They try something. No, 15 to go. Jeff Gordon still leads with 2 Pontiacs behind him and an Oldsmobile behind them. Bobby Labonte down the inside of Kevin Harvick for 5th place. Junior in 7th. Kind of just biding his time here. Ricky Craven behind Junior, and Yarborough and Fletch, who have had quite a few run-ins today. Well, Fletch just got around Craven, and he got into the back of Harvick, and he's alongside Junior. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart's now dumped Kyle Petty to stay in line with Jeff Gordon. So I think it's rather interesting. Jeff Gordon stays up in front. 3 wide for 4th place now. Allison, Fletch, and Harvick. Fletch and Allison get the better of Harvick. Labonte now on the inside of Fletch, as now they're single file ahead of them. So this is going to be rather interesting here, as we're in 14 to go. Side by side between Stewart and Petty once more, but nothing doing. What we're seeing right now is just a masterclass drive by the 24, as now Labonte is going to be losing 5th place to Ricky Craven. Petty back in line with Donnie Allison and Jeff Gordon. Tony Stewart left on his own. Bobby Labonte now with his teammate. But once again, no momentum being shedded here as 4 wide behind them. Harvick, Earnhardt, Fletch, and Yarborough. Fletch gets the better end of that deal as he's now 3 wide with the Budweiser cars. And now Donnie Allison's been shuffled out. Earnhardt Jr. and Brady Fletch now side by side. I say that now. Fletch is on the move on the outside lane. He's now alongside Bobby Labonte. 3 wide now for second place between Stewart, Fletch, and Petty. Petty has no help. Stewart has the help of his teammate and the rest of the inside lane. Fletch also has no help, and he's going to try merging the lane, his high lane with the middle lane. Fletch now down to the inside of Jeff Gordon. He's finally got something for Gordon. He's got him cleared. Fletch has taken the lead in this race. Jeff Gordon is now in second place. Petty third with Craven alongside him. And it was something that I was expecting to happen earlier, that Jeff Gordon gets past. Instead, it took about 30-something laps for Jeff Gordon to be passed, and now Brady Fletch leads him to 12 to go. Through the tri-oval, the 24F sticks to the high lane while everyone else goes low. The 24F has realized this mistake. He's now gone to the middle lane, but leaves the inside lane for Jeff Gordon. Kyle Petty's with Jeff Gordon. Gordon now moves up, collects Fletch there. He almost had a problem there. Thankfully, it doesn't look like anything too bad has happened. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart's moved up to second place with the help of Ricky Craven. So Jeff Gordon is no longer the de facto fastest car. Tony Stewart's now got that second place. Jeff Gordon down on the inside of Stewart, though. Look at him go. Did someone just knock on the door? All right, cool. Meanwhile, Fletch still leads, but he's got about 10 other buzzing hornets behind him. And he's in the wall. He's caught the wall out of the tri-oval. Jeff Gordon retakes the lead. Gordon retakes the lead. Fletch trying to make something happen on the high lane. Nothing able to do it. And meanwhile, Bobby Labonte and Kyle Petty side by side underneath the 24F, coming down through the back straight. Three wide for second place. Now Fletch trying to make his way back up front. Gets into the back of the 24. But once again, hangs down on the inside. The outside, rather. And he's got no help. So Gordon is hugging the apron here. Fletch stays second place. But in the meantime, Kyle Petty's not able to make any runs. He's now getting in line with Jeff Gordon. Fletch on the outside. Gets cleared by Jeff Gordon. I think he got walled. Gordon, I don't think, was clear. And they made contact there with 10 to go. And now Fletch is now falling back. He's absolutely falling like a rock. He's hit a wall. He hits Dale Sr., hits the wall one more time. So I would not be surprised if the suspension of that 24F just got absolutely damaged in that. Senior now covers off the 24F. But once again, Jeff Gordon leading this race. So the two Pontiacs of Petty and Stewart, the Sabco 42, the Joe Gibbs Racing 20, have Kevin Harvick with them and Ricky Craven. And look at this, side by side. Can Kyle Petty finally make something happen here? He's on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Not enough speed, though. And Petty's going to have to give up that inside line for Stewart. Gordon keeps the lead. Meanwhile, Fletch starts drifting up after contact with Junior and/or Cale Yarborough. So Gordon right now still leads with less than 9 to go. Bobby Labonte with a big run on the outside. Goes to the inside of the 24. What a run. What a move. He's got him. He's got him nosed. Now Dale Sr.'s right there. Brady Fletch is now back on the outside of the top 5. But once again, Gordon has the better exit compared to Bobby Labonte. Kyle Petty on the radio with Robin Pemberton. No one wants to help. He's furious. Boy, oh boy. So Petty's trying to do something. No one wants to go with him. He's got no friends out there. Fletch on the outside there for battling Kyle Petty for 4th. Meanwhile, Dale Sr., the man who's won everything at Daytona, right now on the inside loses 2nd place. But he's got some really big company there with Brady Fletch and Kyle Petty. Fletch and Petty almost wrecked each other there. Going through turn 3, Jeff Gordon leads ahead of Fletch and Sr. Junior now has made his way up to 5th, clearing Bobby Labonte. But in the meantime, that's allowed Earnhardt and Petty to get up closer to Jeff Gordon. Gordon still leads with now 6 to go. No. Gotta think here. Yeah, about 7 to go. The commentator had a brain fart there. Earnhardt now down on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Fletch now on the right there. Now trying to make it 3 wide as now Bobby Labonte's now going to try making something happen with Jeff Gordon. Fletch hits the wall. Rubs a little bit with the 18. Now side by side with Jeff Gordon. He's got a better run out of 2. But is he going to have a better run through 3 and 4? He's got the lead, but for how long? Senior now with Jeff Gordon. The 24 goes up high. Right now, that 24F now falling a bit, as now Labonte's cleared him. So he's down at 6. The 2 Earnhardts connected with each other here now on the inside lane. Jeff Gordon doing a good job holding that back now with 6 laps remaining in this first duel. It's amazing all these cars have been able to make this whole race on one set of tires and fuel tank, and it's looking like they're going to stay out for the rest of this race. Meanwhile, Senior, right on the back bumper of not Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt Jr. now, he's separated from his father. KP now on the back of Dale Sr. And there's a bit of a wall hit. I think that was the 24F or the 11 again. Meanwhile, Craven, Stewart, and Yarborough make contact. Yarborough falls back. So Yarborough's down 11th. Fletch is in 10th. They make contact once more. This is for 10th place, folks. Meanwhile, Harvick now pinches Yarborough, and Fletch has a big run on the outside. Oh, and he's gotten put in the wall by Bobby Labonte. He's still on the wall. He's scraping the wall. I'm surprised the tire's not gone down yet. He's now on the inside of Labonte and is hooked up with Yarborough once more on the inside lane. Senior leads Stewart on the inside lane behind Gordon. Now Donnie Allison on the outside has help with Dale Jr. to get back up to Dale Sr. Cal Yarborough and Brady Fletch right now moving up. Fletch down on the inside makes contact. Fletch ends up drifting high a little bit into Tony Stewart, but now Yarborough's in 3rd. Donnie Allison in 4th with Fletch on his outside. He's not quite got him cleared. Yes, he does. So coming to 4 to go, we're seeing the intensity pick up. And what Fletch is doing is trying to fight for that bubble spot, because a certain number of cars are not going to be able to make it into the big 250-mile race. Last place finisher does not get into the 250. So that right now, Bobby Labonte and Dale Jr. are fighting for that final transfer spot. It'll be interesting. There's a big name that's going to be out of here. As I was rambling, Brady Fletch has now gone ahead of Jeff Gordon. But Jeff Gordon, once again, still has that inside lane. No help. But the outside lane's not able to move. So 3 to go. Fletch now does not block Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon gets a run on the outside, clears everybody, and is retaking the lead with 3 to go. And someone's fallen back way far. That's Craven and Labonte. They're quite a bit off the pack. Meanwhile, that's Allison and Earnhardt and Harvick, I think, got together, and someone was hugging that apron hard. Wow. So now Harvick trying to hook something up with Cale Yarborough, unable to do anything. Senior now on the outside of Harvick with Yarborough and Donnie Allison. Brady Fletch now trying to make it 3 wide now. 3 wide, gets through both Harvick and Allison, and is now trying to hook up with Dale Sr. to try getting that 3 car up front, coming to 2 to go. Yarborough gives Earnhardt the space, and look at this, Earnhardt stays with Jeff Gordon. Fletch now makes it 3 wide off the pinball, but loses a spot to Kevin Harvick and another to Tony Stewart. So now, Gordon leads ahead of Yarborough, 3 wide in the back. Earnhardt, Harvick, Fletch, and Stewart. 3 wide now. Harvick shuffled out of this line. Earnhardt stays in this line. Fletch is now in it. He's in the wall, but he's now on the back of Jeff Gordon. Through turn 3 for the penultimate time, Fletch is now down on the inside. And he's lost him. He's lost Jeff Gordon. That final transfer spot. Right now, Bobby Labonte is the last car to make it through. Dale Jr. is out of this spot. Coming to the white flag this time. Jeff Gordon has Brady Fletch on his back bumper. Here comes Cale Yarborough and Ricky Craven. No one's able to make anything happen just yet, but the anticipation is ramping up. Junior's gone back ahead of Bobby Labonte. Dale Sr.'s in 10th. As the field's now single-filed. Well, that's not what I was expecting. But Gordon is ahead of Fletch. Down the back straightaway for one last time. Look at them all, 3 wide now. Harvick now ahead of Craven. Look at them all come in. Gordon holds the inside lane. Fletch stays on the outside. Labonte unable to make anything happen by Tony Stewart. It may just be one JGR car getting eliminated of the 2. Fletch now down on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Gordon on the outside. Fletch on the inside, making contact, and it's going to be Brady Fletch who wins it. Oh my! And Dale Earnhardt Sr. is out of this race. Dale Sr. will not make the Daytona 250. Oh my! What a turn of events. Dale Sr. got shuffled out and was unable to get going again. What a race we've just seen. Congrats to Brady Fletch on the win. Jeff Gordon second, Cale Yarborough third, Harvick fourth, Junior ended up climbing up to 5th. The final transfer spot, Bobby Labonte. He was behind that whole lap, and he finally got there. What a race. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been the first duel for the Daytona 250. Later, we'll be running the second duel.